This was the last quiz that you guys took, and I noticed some errors, so I'm just going to go through and do the quiz for you so you can compare what you did to what I wanted you to do to get the correct answers. Okay, so in question one, now remember there are multiple versions of this quiz, so if you don't have this particular question, you'll have the one that I'll do next. Okay, so there's multiple versions because I can't give everybody the same version because there's too much eye looking. So here we go. So if you had this particular question for question one, your first step would have been to identify these two ordered pairs because we're looking for the distance and the midpoint. And you can't find either one of those without knowing the ordered pairs. Okay, so the ordered pair for this particular point is going to be -4, +6. And the ordered pair over here for this point is going to be 8, -2. Okay, so from here, we can find the distance. And the distance is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, you've got to identify which ordered pair is going to be your x1, y1, and which ordered pair is going to be your x2, y2. Now remember, every ordered pair has both an x and a y value, so you can't intermingle these. Okay, so if we now substitute our numbers in, we've got that distance is equal to the square root of 8 minus a -4 squared plus -2 minus 6 squared. If I simplify, I have 8 minus a -4 is a 8 plus 4, which is going to be 12 squared. And then I have -2 minus 6 is -8 squared. Okay, now 12 squared is 144. And -8 squared is -8 times -8, which is a +64. Now remember, once you square your numbers, you should not have any negative signs in that last step. Now 144 plus 64 is 208. So the square root of 208 is going to be your final answer. Now if you actually did the square root of 208, I can't do that in my head, you get that this is approximately 14.4 units. Okay, the second part of this question was to find the midpoint. And the midpoint is found with the equation of x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. This is an ordered pair. So your answer should be as an x, y value inside parentheses with a comma between. So if we look at our x value first, we are simply going to add our two x values together. So we have -4 plus 8 divided by 2. And -4 plus 8 is a +4, and +4 divided by 2 is 2. Now if we look at our y values, we have 6 plus a -2. And 6 plus a -2 is +4, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So your ordered pair should be 2, 2. And if you went and plotted it, you would see that that point is actually on the line. Now, if you're given your graph, you should plot it. Make sure that your answer makes sense. Follow through. Okay? Now, if you didn't have that particular question, you had this one. Okay? So if you didn't have this question, try it. My first step is to find the two ordered pairs. So the ordered pair would be at 2, 8, and my second ordered pair is going to be at 7, 3. Now to find the distance, again, I use my formula of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, x2 minus x1, I'm going to substitute my numbers in here. Again, it doesn't matter what I call what. So if this is my x1, y1, then this would be my x2, y2. So I have my distance is equal to 7 minus 2 squared plus 3 minus 8 squared. 7 minus 2 is 5, and 5 squared. And 3 minus 8 is negative 5, so I have negative 5 squared. And 5 squared is 25, and negative 5 squared is also 25. So I have the square root of 50, which is approximately 7.07 units or 7.1 units. Okay, now to find my midpoint, I'm going to use my midpoint equation, which is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. x1 plus x2 is simply 2 plus 7 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 is going to be 8 plus 3 divided by 2. 2 plus 7 is 9 halves, and 8 plus 3 is 11 halves. So I could leave my answer as improper fractions, or I can change it to a decimal, which would be the ordered pair of 4.5 or 4.5, comma 5.5. Now, question 2. Determine whether the lines shown on each coordinate plane are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. You had to find your slopes. I'm giving you ordered pairs of each line. You simply find your slopes and compare. Okay, so if we found the slopes of each of these, let's look at line R. I'm given my ordered pair is at 8, 10, and my second ordered pair is at 3, 0. I would subtract my y values from each other, so I have 10 minus 0 divided by 8 minus 3, so I have 10 over 5, which is 2. Now if I look at line S, my two ordered pairs are at 1, 10 and 6, 0. So 10 minus 0 divided by 1 minus 6. 10 minus 0 is 10, 1 minus 6 is negative 5. So I have a negative 2. Now these two slopes are opposites. They're not opposite reciprocals. So because they're not opposite reciprocals and they're not the same, they're neither parallel nor perpendicular. So these two lines would be neither parallel nor perpendicular. You have to find the slopes. You can't assume anything. You're given numbers. Use them. Now we've got this, if you had this question, we do the exact same thing. Find your slopes and compare. Okay, so find your slopes and compare. You could not just say that these made 90-degree angles because you don't have a box, one, so nothing is given to you. And so if you don't have anything that's actually given to you, you have to determine it. Okay, so without having this box given, you can't assume anything. So let's find our slopes. Let's find the slope of line P. So line P has the two ordered pairs of 8, 9 and 2, 0. If I subtract my y values, I have 9 minus 0 divided by 8 minus 2. So this is going to be 9 minus 6. And if I reduce this, I get 3 halves. Now if I look at line Q. Line Q has the two ordered pairs of 0, 8 and 9, 2. So again, I subtract my y values. So I have 8 minus 2 divided by 0 minus 9. 8 minus 2 is 6. 0 minus 9 is negative 9. If I reduce this, I get that this is equal to negative 2/3. And if I compare these two values, I see that the slopes are opposite reciprocals. Therefore, the lines are perpendicular. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to make a second video to do page 2.